It's time for our next Great British Debate of this hour. I'm asking, is Sadiq Khan on the right side of history with ULEZ? The expansion of Sadiq Khan's ultra-low emission zone is fast approaching. From the 29th of August, ULEZ will be expanded across Greater London, which will mean...
Oh, good afternoon from a noisy Tooting Broadway. We know what Tooting Broadway is famous for, don't we? Apart from getting Khan out. Power to the people, freedom and all that stuff. There are lots of people here today, lots and lots. There's always lots and lots. As you can see, the support again is incredible from motorists. Khan's an embarrassment. He's an absolute embarrassment to London.
Hey, people power there, isn't it? Because actually what this means is that Londoners will pay a charge of £12.50 per day for the worst pollutant cars on the road. Now, this expansion of ULEZ has attracted, as you've just seen, controversy, and was widely considered by political pundits as the reason behind the Conservative Party's ability to hold on to what was Boris Johnson's seat, Uxbridge and South Ruislip. Here's that clip there that we saw in Tooting. That was in Tooting, by the way, yesterday, just yesterday. So, the Metropolitan Police, who you would think would have far more important things to concern themselves with, have also vowed to throw considerable resources at protecting this week's expansion, amid fears that the rollout will prompt more protest. So for this week's Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, is Sadiq Khan on the right side of history with ULEZ? I'm joined by former Metropolitan Police Detective Peter Bleksley, Senior Meteorologist at British Weather Service's Jim Dale, and political commentator Peter Spencer. Now, I'll start with you, Jim. You're never afraid to go for it on this particular issue. I'm assuming you're totally with Sadiq Khan and say, all power to you, mate.
Yeah, I think I am. He's the elected mayor, elected by Londoners. He's got a mandate to move forward with this. I don't see a problem with it. Yes, some maybe financial problems that I think have been sorted. Keir Starmer had a word after the Uxbridge by-election. I don't think that was lost because of it, by the way. But this is the right direction. Look, we all want clean air. We all want to go in that direction. London's air is cleaner than it was in the central zones. We need that to expand that into the outer zones now and make sure that people are not affected by nitrogen dioxide and carbon monoxide. And people who are against this basically just want to take us back 20, 30 years. And that's essentially what this is about.
All right. I mean, Peter Spencer there, Jim saying, you know, Uxbridge he doesn't think was lost over ULEZ. I mean, the Labour Party are 20 points rather ahead in the polls right now. I mean, they should be winning across the piece. Surely it is down to Sadiq Khan's penchant for making us pay £12.50 a day.
Well, of course, it happened to coincide with the by-election, so what otherwise would doubtless have generated loads of grumbles around the place really focused minds and made this into a very big issue indeed. But if you look at it more broadly, what we've seen this summer is endless succession of frankly terrifying weather events, many of which have been unpredictable and many of which have cost many lives. And so I'm looking at the wider picture here and thinking anything which will help to wean humanity off its addiction and its penchant for anything that involves fossil fuels has surely got to be a good thing. And it's not an event, it's a process. And of course, it will annoy a lot of people. I mean, I think of the way that the zeitgeist was shifted over ciggies, that you know, that they didn't, the government didn't go down the American route of prohibition saying you can't have them anymore, but there's an endless upping of the taxing and the messaging, and bit by bit it's come about that what was cool no longer is. So what I say is I come back to the old Tesco thing and say every little helps.
Well, I mean, every little bit of extra burden certainly doesn't help, does it? But Peter Bleksley, I want to come to you as a former Metropolitan Police detective. I mean, Peter, the Met are going to have some serious issues. Did you see that at the start there, where the protests were happening yesterday in Tooting? I mean, these things are going to go off the piece, aren't they? There's going to be a lot of pushback against this because people are saying, I cannot afford to take on this burden. They're actually saying, we talk so much about climate change, but all I'm seeing is fires across Europe that are being started by arsonists, and they want to protest about it, Peter.
Yes, well, this entire very messy situation shows quite clearly why the Mayor of London should not also be the de facto Police and Crime Commissioner. Because what do we have here? We have Sadiq Khan telling us all that the ULEZ extension is about particulates and pollution. And many people are saying that actually isn't true. It's about pound notes and it's about politics. And now, as the witching hour comes ever closer, we will see, unfortunately, considerable police resources deployed to try and prevent and then detect criminal damage to the camera network. There's already been hundreds of cameras damaged. There will, I'm sure, be much more of that. And of course, I couldn't condone it in any way. But police are going to have to be involved. Metropolitan Police, precious resources will be deployed to protecting and investigating those crimes. And they, of course, by natural extension, will be seen as being politicised by the London Mayor, as if they are doing his dirty work for him.
Okay.
So the police get dragged into the politics of it all. They become even more unpopular, and the situation remains as messy and as unsatisfactory as ever.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, unfortunately, but thank you to each of you for your time there. That was just there, the former Metropolitan Police officer, Peter Bleksley, senior meteorologist at British Weather Services, Jim Dale, and political commentator, Peter Spencer.